And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Welcome back to the TMCJ podcast. We are on episode 92. And we have topics for segment 1, as usual. But for segment 3, we might actually have another game to try.
Ooh.
And I just noticed that starting Audacity cranked my mic up. So I'm sorry that intro is quite loud for people listening. Hopefully, future me remembers to fix that in post.
Not gonna happen.
Hey, I usually run it through a compressor to just so that you take the harsh edges off of our voices. Yeah.
What do you mean? My tones are silky smooth and cool.
I have to boost your mic because you've got yours turned down lower than mine.
I don't. I have mine maxed out.
Really?
I kid you not. Maybe I just got too far away.
This is the interesting bit about, like, we're recording this from not opposite ends of the world, but across the Atlantic, and then, so you never see the editing side of this, and I never see what setup you have over there, so it'll be a very...
the edge of the disc world that we live on.
Yeah.
It's all flat. It's a square.
I've seen it. I've been in a plane.
Yeah, I fell off of it, and I can tell you it's not good.
It'll be interesting when you guys are out here, because... like, if I actually do have my office set up by then, we'll be able to do, like, an actual in-person podcast. But, yeah.
So, also, I think, actually, we need to disclaim that, honestly, because I'm pretty sure YouTube gets really angry with people being, like, spreading false information and that kind of thing regarding... stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I actually was
they get really up about that.
Yeah, if anyone from YouTube is listening, fuck off. I don't actually think the world is flat.
It was a joke.
You have to tell them these days.
Moving on.
Before we get into topics, that's something I actually do want to mention real quick. One of my favorite things to do used to be to listen to crazy conspiracy theory things on YouTube. Because, like... they were really elaborate. They were like these hour-long videos about how people were controlling the metaverse, and well, I mean, it's not the current metaverse, but like they meant like the surreal world that's all around us, like energy vampire. I loved listening to that shit because and
now we just have to wait for either John Tron or Internet Historian to put something out, and they're both fucking great, but they take a long fucking time to upload.
They really do. But it's always a treat when they do put something out.
It always is, yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't know, YouTube went on this crackdown on crackpots a few years back, and it was kind of sad. It was, the platform became...
Crack.
The crack on crack. Oh, God. Okay, yeah, that's enough about that, though.
Yeah, so our first topic.
First topic, I actually wanted to talk about... I did want to talk about Berserk, because I couldn't really talk about this yesterday when we were on Twitch, because there's a lot of... it's a very not PC manga. It was released in... I want to say either the late 80s or early 90s in Japan, and, later here.
Yeah.
I first saw it when they made an anime adaptation of it. I don't know if I said it. It's Berserk is the name of the anime. I first saw it, and when I was a kid, I picked it up. It looked really cool, really really neat aesthetic. Had a red and black cover. Red's my favorite color, so picked that up. Anyway, I watched it.
As we found out yesterday when we were trying to find out what kind of egg you are.
Yeah, we had some dull moments on the stream. Where we needed to fill with something, and so it became yeah. What was I? I was a deviled egg or something like that. Poached egg. That's what it was. But yeah, so brutally violent anime, like brutally violent. And for the like now you see a lot more like gore and stuff in animated things.
And stuff.
Yeah, or like Invincible that Amazon put out. You see like a lot more of that. But back then that was not as common. And so it's kind of actually I'm not a fan of gore, like, but I'm okay with it when it serves the point of the plot. And in this case, it was very much in service of the plot of the show. Like it's gory and violent to show that the world was brutal and gory and violent. Like so it's basically like a medieval setting. Anyway, the anime cuts off. Like they only did one season of it, and it finishes about halfway through the manga. and on a really big cliffhanger too. It, just like on a like sort of the story will go on, but it won't. So it wasn't until years later when I
Wasn't Berserk written by a famous person or something?
what's his do I still have it on my I don't have it on my table.
Okay,
Um,
totally.
Kanuchi Taka something.
Oh, maybe not then. No, I think it's something else.
But yeah, the manga, it wasn't until years later when I was in college, like one summer I was in an anime kick, and I read through the entire manga and found out, oh my god, there's so much more to this anime, so much more to this plot. It was really, really good. Anyway, so very recently I found out they did these hardcover, leather-bound anthologies. So instead of the 40 books that were in the original series, there are 10 of these.
What's the most fucked up thing you've heard from it so far?
The main character, while he's a 9-year-old boy, gets struggle snuggled by a.
Oh Jesus! All right, okay, that was okay. Yeah, no, you're right. Okay, cool.
That's why I didn't say it on Twitch. So,
Alright, so.
but this is the fuck. Like this trauma, like stays with the character for most of the manga, and but it. So let me give you the context for it though. Like he is, like his mother dies, but she doesn't die in childbirth. She's hung during like a military raid while she's pregnant, and he's born after she goes.
Okay.
A mercenary band is going by, and one of the women in the band, like who just lost her kid, sees this and then grabs him, and then it turns out he's still alive, and so she raises him like her own. But then she dies when he's like 3. So the head of the mercenary band, who was her boyfriend, raises him like his own, but secretly never forgives him for his girlfriend dying, and so like raises him from a young boy to be a fighter. So he's in combat when he's like 6 years old, basically as this guy's squire or whatever. Until the kid's like 9, the head of the mercenary band gets like crippled in combat and loses a leg, and one day when he's like angry and drunk, he comes at the kid with a sword. The bit that I'm talking about where that event happens, it's because after the kid's first battle, like one of like the other mercenaries that was working with them came up to him and like was, hey, I'll buy him for $3 essentially for the night.
Right.
And so the kid.
Okay, cool. Let's leave that there.
No, let me finish, because
Okay.
the very next scene, the kid kills him in the next combat. The guy that did it. But there's a running theme through the story of like, it doesn't shy away from doing things that are really, really fucked up or showing things that are really, really fucked up, but they all serve a purpose in the story. Like they all like it's a very, very brutal in every sense of the word manga and anime.
Yeah.
But it's all for a purpose. It's all for either character development, for world building, and to tell the story the author wanted to tell. I can tell you don't want me to talk about this, but it's such a good.
I'm fine with talking about this, but there are levels of detail that we can discuss something, and then I thought you were going to go into the minutiae of it.
No, why would I do that?
Well, not the play-by-play, but I mean, I thought you get anyway.
Yeah, no,
it's a spicy topic that's a bit spicier than even our spicy topics.
Yeah, but it happens, and that's setting up the main character. He eventually he lives a very kind of isolated life after that, kind of just going from battle to battle, acting like as an independent mercenary, until he's picked up by the main band, which is like kind of this ragtag group of mercenaries who all come together, and the main guy is just like this extremely ambitious and charismatic dude who from a young age decides he's going to go from common birth up to ruling a kingdom, and that's his vision, that's his dream, and he'll do anything to get there. And everyone's like, yeah, that's never going to happen, but he gets very, very close to it, and I won't spoil anything, but where I am in the manga, like he's already made significant progress in ranking up, as it were.
Yeah.
and his army has grown from a ragtag group to a professional, like multi-thousand person military force. And the main character I was talking about, his name is Guts, is one of the one of the top lieutenants in his army. So it's I just can't. It's not for the faint of heart or for the faint of stomach, but it is quite a good story, if not a happy one. That's all I'll say about it. But I wanted to talk about it because I haven't read it in like 10 years, and now that I'm reading through it again, I just remember why I plowed through it in like a month when I was in my 20s, because it really sucks you in.
Okay, well, I was going to talk about something cheery and happy now, but
Well, no, people, come on, cheery and happy. Let's hear it.
Wouldn't exactly say cheery and happy, but well, is there anything else regarding Berserk? We got quite a few points to run through. So I didn't know if you wanted to talk about it more or.
No. That's about as far as I am. If I go any further, it's going to be spoilers.
Good.
It does go through quite like a tragic arc midway through, but it does get better after that. So that's all I'll say.
I see. Okay, well, Unreal Engine 5, something that I brought up with you the other week. You hadn't seen it before.
Yeah, we watched the trailer for it.
Well, I don't know if it's. So Unreal Engine 5 is a software, I guess, that you can make, I guess, short animated films or make games out of predominantly.
Yeah, Unreal Engine, like I've actually, in early days of college, I actually did some coding in Unreal Engine. I don't remember what they had at the time.
Yeah.
It was
this has just come out.
Yeah, I know. This was Unreal Engine. It would have been probably like 2 or 3 at the time. So.
And it is insanely good looking. Like, and when I say good looking, I mean accurate to real life. Someone did a demo of it. They took textures and the environment of a train station and put it into this system, coded it up. It genuinely looks like real life footage, camera footage. It's just incredible. Although we did say that we think... So it has a demo where they're walking around during the day. When it switches to the nighttime version...
That's when it starts to actually,
some of the textures, don't get me wrong, they're still fucking exceptional.
Yeah.
But I could tell the difference between that and real life.
Yeah, when we watched it, that was my impression as well. Like, in the daytime version, it was near indistinguishable from, like, a real footage of a train station. I honestly... I remember being skeptical when we first started watching the video that this wasn't, like, some kind of a troll, and somebody just took real footage and was like, oh, this is the new Unreal Engine, but apparently
I think the fact they had the camera wobble and stuff, as if someone was holding an actual camera as well, slightly. Certainly added to it.
Oh, God. Do you have more to... I was going to go off on a little bit of a side tangent.
Go.
So, you've seen some of the cringy things Facebook is trying to do to promote the metaverse?
No. You
haven't? Okay. Basically, they just keep sticking Zuckerberg in VR and having him do stuff in there, and it's worse and worse every time.
Actually, yes, I have seen. He makes a fucking sex joke or something. No, a melons or something. Like he gives
something like that. That was one of the earlier ones. I mean, that can be put down to him just being a very awkward human being. But
that was so fucking cringe. It was so cringe.
Hello, fellow humans. So the one I'm thinking of, it happened very recently. He did an interview with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah.
Who himself is a bit awkward, in VR, and it's cringy as fuck.
What kind of characters are they using in the?
They're using VR versions of themselves.
Okay.
And here, you know what? I'm gonna send you a quick screenshot of it. You can just let me know what you.
have a very low tolerance for cringe. I'll say that now. That
I
being said, I did finish watching that video we were talking about last night
Oh, the one about
because it was so fucking funny.
the weird dating button thing.
Yeah,
Here,
God, that was
look at
weird.
that. Take a look at that. So, for those who are listening, what this is a picture of
Oh God, it looks like the fucking emojis you get on was
yeah,
it
and
Snapchat?
they're doing like a weird double fist bump, but it just looks so
But
limp-wristed
they're
and
fucking yeah, their wrists are broken because that's the way the controllers work.
yeah. It's
Um,
anyway, it just it go on, go to back to Unreal. But just you're talking about how realistic everything looked. That made me think of this
how
where
unrealistic this looks.
yeah, and how like they're trying to get you'll live in VR and you'll go shopping in VR and you'll do all it's like
The thing is,
bullshit.
they had this great idea, shall we say, to have an interview Neil deGrasse Tyson in VR, and they got the lowest poly. Like,
Well, I think when it comes to metaverse, they're trying to give it to people who you can just do it like with your phone or something like that. So
that wasn't? Wait, what? What did that have to do with VR?
they have VR headsets where you can just slot your phone into the headset, and
Oh God,
so
not them.
they're going for like the working man's VR. So you don't have to.
How do they move the hands then?
You have to get the little controllers, but they're cheap. That's the whole point. It's cheap hardware.
God, the fucking McDonald's of VR.
But that's the idea is that anyone can get in there. So they're trying to get a broad user base. So like when we think VR, we're thinking like an Oculus Rift or whatever Steam's version of it is, the Valve whatever the fuck. Those things need like powerful graphics cards to use, which are out of reach for most people.
I mean, just keeping the fucking handsets powered because they lose charge like no one's business. The fucking
They really do.
cheap plastic crap ones. How bad are they gonna be? I'm not gonna be bothered enough to do that. And why would I even? Oh no, I don't like that at all.
Yeah, but I'm surprised you didn't know about that. I think Samsung did it first. They just released a headset that you could literally just slot your phone into, and then your phone was the VR display.
Yeah, I remember that. I thought that looks shit and it's never going to kick off.
Facebook thought it was a business idea.
Well,
I still call them Facebook. I know they've rebranded to Meta, but that's fucking stupid.
Facebook. Do people even use Facebook still? Like,
I don't. Well, I don't know.
I've been saying this for years, and I guess it's still going.
Everyone's
I don't
on.
know anyone that uses it.
Everyone's on TikTok twerking or some shit now.
Oh,
I
God,
sound
they
so
are.
old when I say something like that, but I stopped using Facebook in 2020, like in January of 2020, and I never looked back, and it was probably one of the best decisions of my life.
All right, how fucking have you got Snapchat?
No. I
Good.
used it for like 2 years back in 2016 or 2015.
I use Snapchat to exclusively talk to a single person who I don't even talk to all that often. And like every day or every 2 days, whenever there's a content update, they will send you from the Snapchat. Fuck it. It's
The
Snapchat
Snapchat.
now. The Snapchat team sends you a message on Snapchat, and I get a pop-up notification.
I hated that. I fucking hated that about that app.
It's one of the things I hate the most. On top of the fact that whenever you write a message, unless you specifically change the settings of that chat, it deletes all your old messages, like, after you've seen them. For most photos that you send can only be seen for about 5 seconds and they're gone forever. And I don't know, do you know what stories are on
I
Snapchat?
do. Well, they have them on YouTube and Facebook too, I think.
I open stories and I don't use Snapchat. But I open Snapchat and it comes up the stories page first, pretty much, and it is just fucking porn down the page.
Okay, that's changed a lot since I used it.
It's like, want to chat with me, and it's two women kissing. Like, that's a picture. And it's just, that's one of the more fucking tame ones, right? I went on the other day, there was a dude ripped with muscle, like, flexing into the camera, and, oh god, it was just fucking cringe.
So,
I hate it.
You might appreciate this though. When I did use Snapchat, you're right. There was a few people that I used. It was essentially just a glorified text message.
Yeah.
They would like have a video of something with like a block of text or whatever. whenever I responded to, I would just, I'd only use it to reply. I would just take a picture of like a blank wall or something like that, and then just write the text message and send it. So it's never any interesting pictures or any like interesting video. I just used it to text back, and I would purposely choose the blandest image I possibly could when I was replying.
Well, you saw me sending a Snapchat the other day.
Mm.
And that is the only time I'll use it. When I'm sending something incredibly sarcastically. So I did a picture of myself with like a really happy face on that, a thumbs up saying, like with the caption, "I want to kill myself" or something. Like, that was a joke, YouTube. With like rainbows and stickers and shit around it, because just it I need to get rid of it off my face. I need to unfortunately it means cutting ties with a person that I've known for years. But fucking Snapchat is driving me insane.
Well, you message it back and like, hey, I'm deleting this app. Text me on here if you ever want to talk to me.
True, but they live in Canada, so texting is not often.
Or WhatsApp or whatever.
True.
I mean, that's what I still technically I still have my Facebook account active because I use it for Messenger. There's 3 people that I still talk with through Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
Everyone else I talk to through text message or Discord. Anyway, we got
topic.
Yeah, we got so far off of Unreal Engine 5 that it's just
True.
We ended up ragging on social media again, which is an oldie but goodie.
We can't help it. Yeah. Do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. I was actually gonna. I feel like now's a good time to do a bit of a retrospective and talk about Digimon World.
Oh.
Because for those that don't know, we have been streaming on Twitch a playthrough of the PlayStation 1 game Digimon World. A beloved game from both of our childhoods.
Yup.
Blue has called it his favorite game of his youth, and
favorite game of all time.
Oh, okay.
Stand by it.
Okay. In my case, it was the game. So we couldn't really afford to fly out to Iowa to see my family out there when I was younger, so we would drive out, and it was a multiple day drive. And that game kept me occupied because we had one of those little, like the cigarette lighter to power converters in the back, and I had a tiny TV in the PlayStation. I'd be sitting in the back of the van just playing Digimon World the whole way out. So that's the big memory for me playing it as a kid. But anyway, so we've recently we beat the game, meaning we beat the final boss and the extra final boss. We're still cleaning some stuff up, recruiting a few more people to the town.
Wait, hang on.
We got one of them last night, so there's 3 left, I think.
No, because we need to get Mozamon, Metalmon, Mamimon.
I think that's it, because we got
Nanimon.
Nanimon, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe they're. Oh, you're right. Yeah, I forgot about him. Okay, so there's 4.
Yeah.
Because last night we got
Mojimon,
Digitamamon, and Piximon.
True.
So, but anyway, this is going to be gibberish for those people that didn't watch Digimon as a kid or didn't play these games. But the whole premise of the game is you're going around in this digital world. You have a partner that you have to raise, and then as you're playing through, you recruit people to the town.
A partner who's a Digimon.
Yeah, a Digimon partner. I assumed people picked that up, but
well, so you say you have a partner, and then later on we say, oh, we made our partner shit on the floor. It's gonna sound weird.
Yeah. Okay. Fair point. But yeah, so you're responsible for raising your Digimon and training them and making sure that they're well disciplined and happy and well fed and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
And that's how
you gotta take all the money that their parent has raised, trying to get them a good education, and take them to a curry house and spend all that money and waste it and make your child fat. You're a terrible parent, Kaiser.
When we were early on in the playthrough, and we were still kind of hard up for cash in the game, when Blue left to go to the bathroom or to get a coffee or something like that, I was like, oh, the Digimon's hungry. I'm taking him to the curry house and get him a nice meal. Spent half of our money.
The thing is, then we got really rich, and then Kaiser never took our child to the restaurant ever again. Money's changed you, man.
Yeah, now that I'm now like that's true. I have become a lot cheaper in that game since we got tons and tons of
We've
cash.
got 400,000 credits because Papa found a way of breaking the system.
Wait, I thought I was the dad.
Yeah, but if I said mummy starts breaking the system, it's done weird on the podcast.
Oh god. But no, it's been a very fun game, and there's something to be said about because we've had actually a decent amount of people viewing the stream, and it's I like a lot of people we've seen playing this are playing it on like an emulator,
Yeah.
but we're actually playing it on the original hardware, which aside from the fact that there's very few compatibility issues, it does well. Okay,
there is the light. The brightness is the only thing.
Yeah, there's a bit of an issue with the contrast. Let's say that, and I do have to fiddle with the cables, which may be down to the fact that I've had this connection like AV cable since like 2006, so it might be a bit worn. But the game itself, like we do end up with like what happened last night when we got into a 3-person battle and the PlayStation was lagging.
Against the Monochromon.
Yeah. Anyway, just I wanted to bring it up and talk about it because it has been quite a fun playthrough, and we've been doing it for a few months now, and I have a sense of accomplishment because we've made it this far.
And if people want to see what we have done, where can they find it, Kaiser?
Well, on this YouTube channel or on, if won't be doing that much longer, but on Twitch at twitch.tv/Kaiser.
The VOD is on Twitch and coming soon to YouTube. Better cut down version where it's going to be less.
Yeah, on YouTube, the way we've been uploading it is just chopping up the stream and then putting up like kind of highlight bits. Yeah, exactly. Although I am a bit behind on that. Now that I've finished Godhood, I can finish up the next Digimon one.
We record a lot of stuff, and I'm just along for the free ride, whereas you're actually doing all the hard work. So I should probably share. What are you drinking, by the way? That looks delicious.
It is Assam tea.
Okay, never mind. Sorry, it looked like some kind of fruity Pims thing with like orange inside it and other things.
It does look very, very delicious in this. So I'm drinking tea out of a mason jar. But no, it is just Assam tea, which is just a black tea.
There you go. Cool. Mind if I take to the next?
Go for it.
Okay, alright, time for some fucking rage moment, alright? We've talked previously on the podcast about Ni no Kuni.
Mm-hmm.
And the second Ni no Kuni game, which wasn't as good as the first one, but was still not bad, right?
That's the one where the president, is in a JRPG, right?
Yeah. With a gun.
Yeah.
So, yes, very brief recap. The first Ni no Kuni game, an amazing story, really quite touching, really pretty. You get a lot of content in there. There's different, if you really wanted to deep dive into the lore and stuff, it's there in the game. You can just literally flick through a book with beautiful illustrations and stuff like that in the game, and it's kind of like a basic Pokemon-esque game, but with a lot of other mechanics. Very fun. Also suitable for all ages. The second one, it starts off with the president driving towards a city which gets nuclear bombed, and then he wakes up in a castle in another world with Catboy as a prince. Okay, not as good, for sure. Completely different combat style. A whole raft of new characters who I wasn't a massive fan of, although they did add a city building function, which I did really enjoy. Even though it's not actually that much content, that really tickles. That's the wrong word.
Tickles your fancy.
Scratches my itch.
Yeah.
Now, this game, I was super excited. And maybe for the wrong reasons. They released a Ni no Kuni phone game. Yeah. Now, when most people who play computer games hear that, their blood runs cold. But hear me out.
Yeah,
I think.
I am still playing Diablo Immortal, by the way.
Are you?
Yeah, off and
Yeah,
on.
how much? Okay.
I've been well. You know, I hate to say it, but it's actually a nice thing to play just when I have. Just lay back, play it on my phone
Right.
for a little bit, do a quest, and then
Non-competitively. Yeah.
yeah, I'm not putting any money into it.
No. Ni no Kuni. So I was like, you know what? I'm a big fan of the Ni no Kuni franchise. I've invested a lot of time into it. Let's see what this phone game is like. Because also, even if it's a shit game, you kind of want to still play it because if there's a big lore dump, then you need to kind of know that if they release another game, because it's quite story driven. The series. It's set in, I think, the same kind of period as the second game, except. So I loaded into the game. I chose a character and customized him. And I was like, all right, let's fucking go. Cutscene, beautiful graphics, stuff like that. I'm put into the game, and I'm like, okay, right, I'm moving around, I'm beating shit up, okay? I get halfway through the second fight, and I have to put the the phone down, because I have to do something else quickly. And I look back at my phone, and my character is still killing the enemies. And I'm not holding the phone.
So the game's playing itself.
And I'm like, huh. Wait, so, and I just literally just hands away from the phone. I just watched it. I was like, so I don't actually need to do any of the fighting. And then the fight finished, right? And I was tapping through. There was a dialogue box coming up, so I was tapping through that. And then I was like, right, get back to the other thing I was doing. And my character started walking to the next objective. Like he just started fucking booking it to the next place that I needed to be. And he started talking to the next person I needed to talk to.
So if you don't play the game gets bored and plays itself.
It's not even like you wait 20 seconds. It's instant. You take your hands off of that controls, it will just keep playing. And I was slightly appalled and amazed by this. It got to the first boss, and I didn't touch the screen for the whole fight. It was over in like 15 seconds flat without me touching the controls. Now, if that doesn't make me a god tier gamer where I can kill a boss without even touching the screen.
Just use your mind.
And it was just like, okay, what's the point of having a boss if you can literally beat it by doing nothing at all? And this happened for like 3 bosses in a row. I didn't do anything for like the first 20 minutes of gameplay. I got to a city. He was still fucking running around the city going for the objectives and things. Like, there's no point in me playing the game. This is so fucking dumb. Like, I get that people don't like walking a long way in games. That's why people introduce like quick teleports.
Yeah, like fast travels. Yeah.
Yeah. But this is nuts. This is literally the only thing that you do is hit the button to go through dialogue buttons and to equip stuff in your inventory, which, by the way, to equip a fucking pendant, which is the first item I think you got, it took like 8 button presses. So the real challenge in this game isn't doing any fighting or walking, it's working out which fucking button to press so you don't accidentally open the secret shop and have to spend 10 grand on a cosmetic to give your... I can't say that on stream. It's awful. It is awful.
One thing that is just going back to what you said at the beginning of this about how you wanted to do this basically so you know the story, like, because it's all going to fit together. There's something that I found really annoying. So one of my favorite PlayStation 1 games, other favorite ones from when I was a kid, was the Mega Man Legends series. And so the other Mega Man games, they're like side-scrolling, like shooter action kind of games. I don't know what exactly to classify them as, but they were very heavy on gameplay, light on story.
Yeah.
But the Mega Man Legends games went the other way around. They were like a third person isometric, like action RPG. So
Yeah.
you could switch out weapons and upgrade stuff, but it was voice acted. There was a story. There was characters. Like they gave it, and it had this actually really interesting world and lore to it. Like the idea is like there's been some kind of post-apocalyptic thing where there's these ancient ruins with very advanced technology, and basically all of society now is going into them and looting them for power sources to run any technology that they have. And
Yeah.
so Mega Man is one of these people that goes down into these places and loots stuff. This is all relevant to a mobile game. I'm getting there. So there's Mega Man Legends 1 and 2, and then a side story one that follows one of the villains. And anyway, great stories, great games. I recently beat Mega Man Legends 1 and 2. I never had the disc for the original one because I had it on the N64. Because the first game, not the second one, they released as an N64 cartridge. They had a planned third one. They never released it, though, and it was just in development hell forever.
Yeah.
But they did release a mobile game that expands on the story and has a lot of... But it was exclusive to Japan. And it was a fucking mobile game. And so when I found this out, I was like, there was more lore and story, and I was reading through it. And I was like, I would have loved to play this game because I really wanted that third game to come out because the story was good, the lore was good. And I can't even play this one if I want to find out more of the story because it's all in Japanese. I'd have to fucking learn kanji to play it.
Yeah. I mean, that's when you kind of hope that there's some kind of online reviewer like Yahtzee, for example. Yahtzee's never going to do it because he's not at all interested in these kind of games.
No.
But I really hope that someone makes the cut down version of what exactly happened because I do not.
So speaking of Yahtzee, so he has another video series called Extra Punctuation, which is more of his like it's a voiced version of what used to be his like blog or whatever. And so it's not like his video game reviews, but he did one recently about like why are mobile games becoming more and more crap? Because he actually used to play mobile games and actually kind of enjoy them as just a casual unwindy thing.
Yeah.
But he was noticing like they've become really, really shit. And like not just shit, but like photocopied shit.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, from the beginning there was a level of photocopied shit, like where people were trying to move Minecraft onto a phone, for example.
Yeah.
But like, remember the fucking swing the candy rope game?
Then there was like
candy into a little monster's mouth.
Well, and
that was actually pretty fucking chill.
There was the original like Angry Birds game, which
Angry Birds was pretty fucking good. I'm pretty sure it was free.
Back in the day, yeah.
Hell, there was just a game where it looked like it's not even a game. That thing where you'd like hold up your phone and it would like fill up with beer, and then you'd tilt it slightly, and the beer would fall out. Like that was fucking hilarious. That was great for the beginning of the phone.
There was there was an app. It got taken down fairly quickly, but the person made a lot of money. They had an app that cost $999.99. And it was just a green background with a red gem in the middle. And when you tap the gem, it sparkles and says, "I'm rich." That's the whole app. The Apple Store took it down after a while, but it sold like 10 copies of the app. So the guy made 10 grand or whatever Apple didn't take a cut of.
Yeah. But, oh, God. No, so one other thing that I didn't even take notes because I thought this has already taken up too much of my fucking life. The reason that I'm talking about it so much now is to warn other people not to play this game. I'm telling you, don't play this game. You know how I said in the first game, child-friendly, anyone can play it.
Yeah.
There's no, like, gore, there's, I think the closest thing to nudity would be they wear swimsuits for one section, but even then it's very tastefully done. And they don't make jokes about it or anything. In this, like, pretty much straight off the bat,
you just reminded me of something, but go on.
There are sexual themes, and it is disgusting, and I do not want to see it. I do not want to see it in a game franchise like that. It is fucked. Also, all the other players that I saw, and by the way, I spawned into the starting city, and the entire hub was empty, and my character was like, There are so many people here. Big oversight there, devs.
So,
and it's all Russian bots. Go on.
yeah, 2 points that you just reminded me of. There's another PlayStation 2 JRPG franchise that I've been kind of slowly making my way through just after work on my off time. It's called Xenosaga. Great sci-fi series. Really enjoy it. There's 3 games. They all are out for the PS2, although I don't know how well you can find them these days. I have the copies of all of them. In the first game, you can put the male or female characters in swimwear for an XP boost. It's like they'll have basically have no armor or no bonuses from it, but you get an XP boost when they're equipped with that because they're essentially wearing nothing. But it's not sexist. You can put them either male or female characters in them. The other thing I was thinking of in terms of what was it? Oh, there was a second thing that you said that made me think of this.
So the over-sexuality and...
Yeah, I think it was around the over... oh, no, that's what it was. Minecraft.
the emptiness of the world. Oh, Minecraft.
Minecraft recently had a very controversial update.
Okay.
They added a reporting system, even for private servers. And by that I mean...
How many years has Minecraft been out?
At least... Well, it came out when I was in college, so... probably about 15 or 16. No, it's less than that. More like... Probably like 14 years. 13 or 14 years.
What I'm saying is... It's a bit fucking late for that.
Well, the controversial piece of this is the fact that, like... I could see it if they were doing on, like, official Microsoft servers. But... like now even on private servers you can essentially do a report and you just click on whatever chat message you want to report, goes off to Microsoft, and it'd be fine if it was like some, I don't know, vile shit, but it's not. It's like, just even if it's like mildly offensive,
it's Minecraft. You don't really get vile shit.
You do, actually. Minecraft actually went through a bit of a controversy because there was... I don't want to go too deep into this, but let's say some untoward people who want to interact with the youths on Minecraft servers were using it to do the... Yeah.
Well, then just don't go to that fucking server. Like, it's not one of these games where you're locked into anything, and if you just change server, you get a fresh start.
Yeah, exactly. Change servers, or just know the people you're playing with. I don't know. When I played Minecraft, we played it on a local server. There were no internet servers at the time. I mean, granted, I've played it since then, and we actually had one in the Hive going for a while, but...
Yeah. There's only so much you can do in Minecraft, and I'm sorry, but I do get bored of it.
Again, I mean, but I'm an engineer. I like building things and making, like, elaborate...
Yeah.
Anyway, but I think we've gone on for quite a while, actually, for segment 1.
Yeah, we had lots of small topics to talk about.
We
cool.
did.
I'm interested to hear what you've got planned for segment 3, because I don't know.
I've been kind of... That's what you see me, like, jotting things down in my notebook as we've been talking. It's every time I have an idea, I'm like, oh, I gotta write that down, too. It's all going to feed into it. So this is either going to be great or it's going to be shit. So look forward to that in segment 3. But anyway, this is going to be the end of segment 1 of the TMCJ podcast. Thank you all for listening, and you will hear us again momentarily for segment 3. Welcome back to the TMCJ podcast. We're on segment 3, our wild card.
Wait, we started?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
that did fun.
Blue, we had a bit of a false start. Blue had coffee in his mouth, and I thought he was...
Blue had a false start. Kaiser had a false start.
I said we had a false start. Blue had hot coffee in his mouth and was making weird gestures, and I thought he was telling me not to start. You had just taken a sip. It was in your mouth, too.
Well, that's a very different conversation to have, and not suitable for YouTube.
God damn it. Anyway, but yes, that's what that was about. So we actually do have something different this week. I know the last couple times we've done just an extra topic segment. But this time we're doing a game that I've made up that I totally didn't. I found out where I got it from. It's a board game. It's called Fact or Crap.
Sorry, slower?
Fact or Crap.
Okay.
Which I don't know. I think it is a board game. I looked it up because I was like, where have I heard of this before? But essentially, I'm going to give you just a random sentence, and you are going to tell me if it's something that's true or not.
This is something I don't think we've done on the podcast before, but I've definitely discussed it with you with the Warhammer one, the Warhammer or Warhammer.
Yeah. Maybe that's what I was thinking of when. But this is just a whole random. Some of this stuff is personal facts. Some of this stuff is like historical facts. Some of this stuff is contemporary facts.
Okay.
Some of it's like just. I think there's one question in here about geology. Just we'll keep going.
Ooh, rocks, my favorite.
Yeah. So I don't know if these are going to carry us the whole way through. So if not, we'll just move on to some of our backup topics. So
Okay.
just be aware this may not take up the whole
Don't
set.
downgrade it now. Fucking all power, vim, vigor, go getter bullshit.
Well,
Go.
That's what I'm going to do, which is why we might not fill up the whole segment. Anyway, all right. First one: the Roman Emperor Nero famously played a musical instrument while the city burned around him, the capital city of Rome. Because at the time, which was Constantinople, I think. Oh, no, it was Rome.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, based on the fact that you are fact-checking yourself on it, I'm going to guess that it is true.
It's false.
Because otherwise you would have just been like, this place, it's somewhere in Italy.
No, it is false.
What did I say? True.
You said
Fuck.
true. So it's a popular historical fallacy. So like Nero was not a very popular emperor, and the city did have like a massive fire but because it was so unpopular, people like made up a whole bunch of rumors like he started the fire. He was just playing, I think it was a harp or something, or a lyre or something, while the city burned around him. Right. But that's not actually true. He was actually trying to stop the fires and stuff like that. But
okay, well, I hadn't even heard the popular rumor, so
okay. there's a couple history ones on here because that's topic of interest.
Because you love history,
yeah. I'll keep score just to see.
Okay.
All
okay,
right.
cool.
Second one. I'm writing it down. Give me a second. I expect you to fill the air while I'm trying to do this. There was once a U.S. president who gave a 90-page speech after being shot in the chest.
Yeah. Ooh. I think I've heard of this.
Is it true or not?
I don't know how many pages it was though, and you could be doing like we did with the achievement thing, where you just have a shit like, no, it wasn't 52 times you got to something; it was 53 times. I win.
I will say that I won't do that.
Okay.
if it's not true or false, it will be in a significant way. It won't be like a pedantic detail like that.
Well, if you get shot in the chest, I mean that's a pretty bad place to get shot if you're trying to talk.
Yeah.
So humanly, I don't think it's possible, but I feel like I have heard rumor about it. Whether it's much like the Nero thing, where it's like actually people just say that he did when it wasn't actually possible. God, maybe it was like the that Viking film where the guy takes a spear through the throat and he has then a small speech that he gives on his knees. Oh. How am I allowed to ask how close was it to him getting shot in the chest that he did this 90-page speech?
Immediately after.
Immediately after?
Yeah. So like within a few minutes after.
Okay, and can I ask the caliber of bullet?
No.
Okay. All I'm saying is it's not like
it was a
BB
pistol.
gun.
Yeah, it was a pistol. It wasn't a rifle or something like that.
Okay. There's more questions I want to ask, but I'll refrain. I'm going to say I'm gonna say no because I don't think the Secret Service would let someone then give a public speech when someone's been shot in the chest minutes before. So I'm gonna say it's not true, unless it was like way back in the day, which it might do.
It was quite a while back. But so I'm sorry, but it is true.
Fuck.
Teddy
All right, the rumors
Roosevelt.
I heard were true.
Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt famously, and so your line of logic might have been
Rough
true.
Rider himself.
The speech part was important, the page number, because he had the speech tucked in his chest pocket, and the bullet passed through the speech and into his chest, but didn't kill him because it got stopped mostly by the 90-page speech. And then he got up.
Hang on. He hold 90 pages. That's like a wad of paper.
Yeah.
It must have been like a notepad size for a start, because like not A4.
It wasn't. It was not like this. Again, this was back in the early 1900s. So, but yeah, no,
he pretty low caliber.
He got shot in the chest. Then gave the speech, and famously, he formed his own political party later called the Bull Moose Party. And because at the end of the speech, as he's still bleeding and having just given the speech, he goes, "No one can stop this bull moose." And yeah.
I mean, he was a big hunter, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah,
it takes a lot to bring down any kind of moose, to be honest.
He was a very big, robust man.
Yeah. Well, he said something about there was a species that was going extinct. He's like, "Oh my god, that's terrible. I need to get up there and hunt one of them right now."
Buffalo, yeah, it was the last buffalo. He heard buffalo were going extinct, and so the first thing he did was hop on a train so he could hunt one before they were gone.
Jeez, what a man.
Anyway, but yeah, so you're
hang on, so how bad? Like, it must not have been a bad fucking hit at all.
He did actually, like, I don't know if he fainted, but he did kind of pass out on his way to the hospital afterwards. And the thing about the Secret Service these days, you're right, but back then there was no Secret Service.
Right. Okay. When was that set up? I don't know.
I don't know. It probably would have been after World War II, because that's when like the federal government expanded quite a bit in the U.S.
Right. Okay. Well, you know.
Because it was kind of all that stuff was mostly in response to the Cold War and stuff.
I feel like with a lot of presidents, there's a lot of bureaucratic crap, but whenever you're talking about Teddy Roosevelt, there's always kind of a sense of hi-ho adventure.
Yeah.
In any story that he's part of.
This isn't... That one might be a fun one to do later, but no, I won't do another president-themed one. But there was once a president who... This was before... I think this might have been late 1800s even. But he was taking off in like a biplane, and he told his family and friends to come out on the balcony of the White House to like wave him off, and he told the pilot to like dive bomb the White House, like just to go in really close to exactly to have them all like dive and run away scared just because he thought it would be funny. Just
Jeez.
Fun facts. Anyway, all right, this is a personal one. I used to write left-handed.
Let me think. So, I'm pretty sure this is true because I think on the Legos, no, on the when we're doing the Do Your Own Adventure book stream, you were writing stuff in a notepad, and I think you were saying, I'm kind of ambidextrous, I can write with either, and we had a discussion about that, I think. I'm going to say that you are, in fact, you used to write left-handed.
True.
Bam.
So I am ambidextrous, but I mean, I write very poorly left-handed now, but when I was a little kid, because I would just copy my mom in everything when I was growing up, and she's left-handed, I started off writing left-handed, and I still eat left-handed. Like, so... And certain sports, like, it just, whatever hand I pick up with first, that's the hand I typically stick with.
Yeah, so you can train yourself into it. I was looking up, so I was watching that video you sent me the other day, the not Top Gear, James May and Richard Hammond playing drunk chess.
Yeah. And
they're talking about circular breathing, and I was like, that's actually quite an interesting thing. And I had a look at how you actually circular breathe, because obviously people who like play clarinets need it to constantly hamstring. And I'm like, this is actually a really cool thing that I could actually learn to do. I'm probably not going to because I'm terrible for that kind of thing. But it's really cool.
Yeah. And just to clarify, I stopped. The reason I can't really write left-handed now is because basically once I went to school, I started imitating the way my teachers and classmates wrote, which was mostly right-handed,
Yeah.
and so I stopped doing that. And so now I write like a preschooler with my left hand, but I can do it.
So when I was growing up, and I must have been very, very young because my parents were teaching me how to tie laces. I've never had Velcro shoes. Okay, we've always been a laces family, and so I'd be sat on the stairs before going to school, and they'd do up my laces for me, and then instead of they did it up like backwards, so that I could see, like, so that I would see how I meant it from my perspective the correct way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as a child, I actually started like interpreting it from their point of view.
So you mirrored it
While
in your
they were
own
doing
heads.
it backwards on purpose for me.
And
so
you
I
did
always
it
tied up my laces backwards. Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's funny how, like, yeah, kids just pick up on this stuff.
Well, they found this by studying like monkeys, and later when the technology got better by testing it on humans. But they found that the parts of your brain, like when you watch somebody do something, the exact same parts of the brain that are lighting up for them light up for you. And it's doubly, like, it's less prominent in adults, but in children it's the same. So like it's one of the reasons that I think you know what, like, what mukbang videos are?
It's food, isn't it?
Yeah,
Mukbang?
it's just basically just people eating. Yeah, it's a Korean thing. That's what the word is
Yeah.
Korean. But I feel like that's why I actually quite like watching like a cooking show when I'm cooking, or like when I'm eating, because it's like, I don't know, it oddly satisfying. But I think
I
that,
think it's like similar, but not quite the same.
oh,
I really enjoy watching. So predominantly, it's Randy Santel doing food eating challenges while I eat,
but
and I don't know why. Like, it's just
it's oddly
maybe it's the
satisfying.
competitive side of me, and I don't think you even notice I'm doing it. But I start eating fast. But no, yeah, I totally agree.
All right, next one.
Yes.
Do you know what? Well, you might not know what this is, but if you don't, I'll explain. Do you know what Miss Signo is from the original Pokemon?
Oh God, I know, but I can't picture it.
All right, so it's a glitch in the original Pokemon game. And
Oh yes, okay, yes.
so it's
yes,
called,
yes,
like,
yes.
it's actually missing number, but people just called it
Yeah.
Missigno because that's what it spells out on the screen. So the question is, or sorry, the statement is, Missigno in the original Pokemon games is found in Cerulean City.
Oh, see, Cerulean City, I'm pretty sure is on the coast, and I think to get it, you have to do some weird glitch with the water. I think it's like just off the coast or something. I could be completely fucking wrong about that, but based on the fact that surely a city like called Cerulean, surely that's by the water. You're trying not to smile right now. I can recognize that face. You're doing that like you're
I'm doing my best to keep a poker face
trying
going.
to eat a peanut is how you look when you're trying not to give away something. You're like, I'm going to say, oh God, but Lavender Town is the graveyard one. I'm going to say yes, Cerulean City is where you find Missigno.
I'm going to give you half credit for this one because it's actually, you were completely right about the location, but not the name of the city.
Okay.
Cerulean City is up in the northern part, and it is near a river, but not near the ocean. Cinnabar Town, or Cinnabar Island, sorry, is where you find it.
Which game is it from?
Pokemon.
I haven't played. Go on.
Red and blue, yellow, leaf green.
I never played them.
It was also in gold and silver.
Well, then I haven't played anything from
that's
Game Boy
why
Advance before.
That's why I'm giving you half a point there, because you did get all of the information right about how you find it, but not the right city.
So was I right about the glitch with the water?
You were, yeah. You scoot up and down
I feel like that's the harder question.
the the way you get it is you have to go to Vermilion City, talk to
Right.
the guy that gives you the tutorial, then immediately fly to Cinnabar Island, go off the eastern coast, and then grind right up and down the coastline, and then that's where you get it. That's also how you duplicate island items in those games.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you get the full point. I said I wasn't going to hold you
No,
up
no,
on.
no, no.
No,
Half point I accept, but
I said I wasn't going to hold you up on pedantic details like the number of pages or the name of the city. You got everything right, just not the right town.
yeah, it's very generous.
So back to another history one.
Okay.
In the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is one of the oldest works of fiction known to us from ancient Babylon.
Yeah.
There is a person who is causing trouble and harassing, farmers, a wild man out in the wilderness who is, he's essentially causing people to starve because he's destroying their fishing nets and hunting traps and things to save the wild animals. And the way they eventually get him to stop is with a holy prostitute. Sorry, my headset just cut out. What was that?
Oh, I was gonna say what's you said it's Babylonian, right?
Yep, ancient Babylon. So this is it's pretty much one of the oldest historical epics that we have record of.
Gilgamesh is like the freaking the chunky boy with the knives, right?
He is the ruler
Like
of
the
Babylon.
knives that are like wave shaped almost. All right, they give
Probably, he was the ruler of ancient Babylon, and he was like, I think according to the epics, he was 2/3 god. He was like a demigod.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking of him from Civilization now. He had the funny hat on.
And he has a big old beard.
And so they did what to him by sending a holy prostitute?
That was how they got the wild man to stop freeing all the animals and ruining the hunting and fishing for the rural people. Because he was one with nature and he was, saving the animals but hurting the people.
I have a horrible feeling because it's so ridiculous that it's correct, but at the same time, I mean, there's a couple of things that throw me off. For a start, if you had said it was a holy prostitute in any kind of modern day thing, I'd be like, nah.
I should clarify. The word is sacred, not holy.
So they've been sanctified.
It is pagan times. You're right on that line of thinking. So they don't have the same negative.
I think pagans are. Let's not say that. God, I mean, in ancient times, why didn't they just execute the guy?
They couldn't. They couldn't hunt him down. He was out in the wood. Well, he was a big old wild man.
Poor prostitute, then. Just saying. God, I don't want it to be true. I hope it's not true. But I'm gonna say it's probably true.
You're saying true?
Yeah.
It's true.
Oh, I mean, I'm not happy about it, but
so it's in this tale. Basically, Gilgamesh was causing so much trouble as the demigod emperor of Babylon. Like he was running wild. The gods created a wild man to essentially try and stop him, and this was the wild man. And so the way they stopped the wild man was they had a woman go out and the sacred prostitute to seduce him and sleep with him. And it's actually it doesn't go badly for her. She actually, essentially, quote unquote, civilizes him. She teaches him like
it sounds a lot like the Triceratops book again, guys.
Let me finish. She teaches him that he needs to like wash and shave and actually, act like a human being. It's one of those ancient stories that's supposed to teach you about life, that women civilize men is the message of that part of the story.
I don't see how it fixes the core issue. Well, I don't see why the gods sent a wild man to fix a wild man.
So part of the story is incomplete. We only have so much of it, so there's gaps in the story. So we don't know that either from the historical record. There's context that's missing. You're also talking about a culture that's like 5,000 years old, so it's kind of hard to understand the way they thought about things. But yeah, you've just pulled ahead.
Oh, what?
You've gotten 2 wrong and 3 right. Or if we were going with a half point in the last one, then it's 2.5 to 2.5.
Right.
All right. This is one that I put in here just because I was so. You should get this one, but let's see. So, true or false, or fact or crap? Final Fantasy, all the games, is one continuous series.
No.
Okay.
Well, hang on. Whoa. Define one continuous series. Do you mean like there's no time jumps or anything?
I mean, like they all take place in the same universe, and they all like follow the same timeline. And
I'm pretty no, they definitely don't follow the same timeline. I know that. No.
So you're saying false?
I'm saying false.
You're right.
I have a feeling you're about to say you're fucking stupid.
No, you're right. And the reason I put it on here is because you were arguing the other day very vehemently that they all take place in the same universe. They're all part of the same timeline, and we were talking about Final Fantasy, and you were like, oh, but I don't want to start now because I haven't played all the older games, and I don't want to jump in midway through. And I'm like, you don't. They're all independent. They're all separate games.
Not all of them.
All of them. The difference is like, so if they ever do one that's like a sequel, they'll add like a dash. So there's like Final Fantasy 10, 10-2, or there's Final Fantasy 13, 13-2.
That's a different game. That's a different game in the series. They're not all different universes. Like the Lightning Returns one.
Yeah, that's essentially 13-3.
Yeah,
but it's all the 13 timeline and universe.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
I'm sorry,
it's another game. It doesn't count as the same. But either way, okay, yeah, the semantic to this question.
Yeah. So.
But yeah. No, because like I mean, Final Fantasy Tactics. I think the I mean, look at Kingdom Hearts.
That's not Final Fantasy, but yeah,
it's got Final Fantasy characters in it.
It does. Well, it's also got Disney characters in it.
Exactly. My point is, they go outside of the timeline a hell of a lot. With like Cloud and Sephiroth and like there's a lot.
We're talking like we're disagreeing, but we're both making the same point.
I know, but we're getting to the same conclusion, but in very different directions.
But your definition of what a different timeline or the same timeline is very it's very different than mine. Like they have similar themes throughout all the Final Fantasy games, but like for instance, if you Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 8, Sephiroth doesn't even exist in the universe of Final Fantasy 8. He never existed. And the same thing
always does exist.
So it's one of those things like that. That's what I'm talking about.
Chocobos are the one thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like themes exist, Moogles exist in multiple games, but they exist for different reasons. Like they kind of reinvent the game every time they do a new one. Anyway,
did you ever play Chocobo Tales?
No, I didn't.
That was a fantastic game on the DS, and sadly, it's not been ported to anything else. I don't think. It's a lot of fun. So
yeah, one game on the DS that I've wanted to play again recently, and I think they have a version of it on Steam, is Advance Wars. It's like a
Advance Wars Tactics.
Well, I played Advance Wars 2 on the DS. Not Tactics.
I think we had that on the Wii.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's a fun little game. One of those little isometric, strategy. Kind of the same sort of look and feel as Into the Breach.
I need to go back to that game. I forgot.
I've been playing it. I've actually been playing some of the new update.
It's good.
Yeah. I tried out one of the new units because I 100%ed that game. I had all the achievements. Now I don't.
We both did.
So yeah, I was excited about that. It's give me a reason to go back and play it again.
Is there enough different that it's worth me going back?
Oh yeah, they've added a lot. They've added like a bunch of advanced play features, so you can like check off new things that are happening. But even beyond that, they added like 4 or 5 new squads.
Oh.
And just that alone kind of made it fun. And there's new items, there's new pilots, there's new abilities. You can modify the playthroughs. It's definitely worth it. I've only kind of scratched the surface so far, but I know I'm going to get sucked back into it.
Yes. Anyway, sorry, I keep interrupting this quiz.
No, it's fine. This is actually good that we were kind of going on tangents in between because
How many did you write?
I've got 3 more. So we're actually
Three
coming
more.
up on the end.
Okay.
So the next one, this is a bit of a physical science kind of question. Electrum is a combination of gold and silver.
I know it's an alloy. I thought there was tin in there. I thought it was like copper and tin. Or maybe that's bronze I'm thinking of or something. Electrum. Oh god. You know what? We literally make this in Thingy Project. Eden Project. Is it Eden Project? No, that's not right. The Around the Star.
Dyson Sphere
At
program?
Dyson Sphere.
Yeah.
You literally make Electrum by combining... Maybe it is... In fact, I think it is gold now, actually. I don't know if it's silver. You said you weren't going to be panicky about things, so I'm going to guess that Electrum is an alloy of gold and silver, yes.
It is. That's true. And you're right. Bronze is tin and copper.
Right.
Bronze is tin. I didn't want to say
I
anything.
didn't know that. RuneScape is literally, that's the first thing that you can craft in RuneScape.
It was one of the things that, like, actually, even in the ancient world, made the Isles of Britain, like, really, really important to the Mediterranean economy, because one of the primary sources of tin was from the British Isles. All right. Second to last question. You can't own property in China.
That's going to be like, because everything is owned by the government. I know that they have some kind of social point system where you're only allowed to like go to a hotel if you have a certain number of social points, as it were. So I wouldn't be surprised if they consider themselves as owning every abode in the whole of China. You know, it's a fucked up and up enough place that I absolutely think that's true.
That is true. So you can buy like a house or a condo, but technically you don't own it. It's leased to you for like 70 years or something like that.
Right.
And so that's actually one of the things that's kind of concerning about their economy is a lot of those leases are coming up and no one knows what's going to happen. Like, are they going to just take the land back? Are they going to have like a renewal fee? Are they going to add a tax to it? Like, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Because people have bought quite a lot of property. Like, granted, as a foreigner, like, we couldn't buy anything anyway, but I'm talking about people who actually live there. They can't actually buy the property. It's technically all owned by the government, and it's
honestly,
just
I think I'd rather live in Russia than China for the amount of stuff that you hear about China these days.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Final one.
Wait.
What?
An American would rather live in Russia.
Hey.
Thumbnail.
I mean, ironically, people in the average everyday person is freer in Russia than they are in China, and that's something that's important to me. So yeah, I'd prefer to live there than elsewhere. If I was given the choice between the two, I mean, neither of them is very high on my list. I think there are probably only 2 places on Earth that I would rather live besides the U.S. And like, not rather, but if I couldn't live here, no, I wouldn't choose the UK. I'm sorry. It would probably either be Switzerland or Iceland.
No, you would not get on well there.
Why? Not
because
which one?
They are very. Switzerland is very, very strict, like very police statey. Like you can get arrested for crossing the road not at a green traffic light.
Yeah, I've
Red traffic light.
been there multiple times.
Yeah, I think you'd just go fucking nuts.
The reason I name them on my list, I can still keep my guns, and they have extremely low taxes. Yeah, in Switzerland they actually mandate most people to own a gun. It's how they enforce their neutrality. They have a very, very heavily armed populace.
I was not aware of that. You don't really hear about it from Switzerland because
they also
doesn't really go bad.
they also have some of the lowest income taxes in the world. It's like down around like 3%.
They're a very stable country, I believe.
They are. It's another reason I like them. Plus, I love the fact that they've essentially rigged most of their infrastructure to blow up if anyone ever invades them.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Go live in the mountains.
All right.
Cool.
Final one. Before Columbus, sailed over, found the New World, people believed the world was flat in Europe.
Yeah. Yes, it's true. The world is flat. Next question.
God damn it! All right, true or false?
True or false? What?
That statement.
That people believed that the world was flat when Columbus went over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm 99% sure that it's true. Like Columbus didn't actually mean to go. He was meaning to go somewhere else. I think
He was
and
trying
he
to.
fucked it up so badly that he ended up in a completely different place.
He was trying to go to India. That is. Yeah. He was
Yeah.
trying to get to India to circumvent the spice or the Silk Road.
I'm fairly sure that that's true. That people thought that the world was flat at that point. Still,
It is false.
yeah.
So this is actually just like the very first question in this is a very popular misconception. This one was started because of like a famous play that got really, really popular, I want to say in the late 1800s, and spread the idea that, before Columbus they wanted like a bit more drama to it. And so they wanted to like, no one believed him. He was this trailblazer who like everyone thought he was crazy. He was going to fall off the world. It's not true. There are records of monks in like the 1300s talking about how the curvature of the earth caused certain things to happen. And then there were
that wasn't mass belief.
It was mass belief. Anyone
by the monks.
I'm getting to that. Give me a second. Even going back to ancient Greece, like they talk about how they proved, actually figured out the diameter of the earth very accurately with just very simple math. Like and when you're talking about common people, sailors always knew the earth was round. It's why ships disappeared off the horizon. It was a very commonly known fact that the earth was curved and round.
There were people sailing boats back in the day when people thought the world was flat. I'm pretty fucking sure.
People didn't think the world was flat since, like, you'd probably have to go back to, I mean, that's why I specifically said in Europe. In Europe, right. We have records of people, normal people, very, sorry. I'm getting all tongue-tied, but we have records in Europe going back to, like, ancient Greece and before that, showing that people did actually know, no, it was round. If you're talking about like the whole Discworld thing, that's why I didn't include Asia and India, because there were different beliefs in those areas. Right. But no, it's a misconception that was started by a play in the 1800s.
I see. Oh shit! Was that the last question?
That was the very last one, and you did quite
well.
So you had 6 correct and 3 incorrect.
Really? I feel like I got a lot more than that wrong.
There was the one that we kind of like we're doing half point, maybe not. So even if we don't include that one, you were 5-4.
Huh. Still 5.
You got. I mean, you were kind of like iffy in the first part. You started off getting like 2 wrong right off the bat.
Yeah.
But then after that, you started getting a bunch of them right. There were a few you weren't sure about, like the Gilgamesh one, but you got that one right in the end.
Mm.
And you were able to.
A lot of it was like, what kind of? That was me reading you rather than reading the question.
That's part of the game.
Yeah, the old eating nuts mouth movement that you do.
Well, that's part of the why we get the face cams on. So I have to maintain a poker face, or do my best to. All right.
Cool. How much time have we got?
I think we're at a decent spot to end it, honestly.
True.
We've been going for about a half hour on this segment.
Oh, okay, no. I want a quick rant, all right?
Okay.
This is completely unassociated with everything. It's a very quick rant.
All right, we're ending the podcast with a rant. Go for it.
Breakfast menus.
Mm-hmm.
I never, ever want to see a breakfast menu in any circumstances ever, all right? You wake up, you're like, I feel like going out for a meal. You head out, you get to a pub, or, I don't know, even fucking McDonald's, and they're like, oh no, hang on, sorry sir. We can't give you steak and chips until 12:30. Instead, we can give you varying variations on a piece of egg and a piece of toast that are fucking burnt and dry up until that time. That's all we can serve you. I'm sorry, our kitchen is fully open. We've got people cooking in there, but we cannot give you the food you've actually come here to eat until that time. That can go to hell.
That's that's definitely like a franchise or a fast food kind of thing, because you can do that in a lot of places here, at least. If you go to like a diner or a restaurant, you can usually order breakfast whenever. Not
Yeah,
always.
no, like I'm fine with being able to order breakfast, but not just having a breakfast menu until a certain time. Let people sell people what they want. I was
It
at Spoons the other day, as you know,
mm,
and they start serving alcohol at like 7:30 or 8 a.m., right?
mm.
But they don't serve you whatever I was asking for. I was asking for a curry in this case, but they wouldn't even serve you like a small fish and chips until 11:30 a.m. And it's like, I'm not going to eat your breakfast because it's crap.
As much as I'd like to, like, I don't want to play devil's advocate. I feel like I just have to say part of it might be staffing. Like they might not have the cook or the
Well, someone's
ingredients in.
cooking.
That's fair. I mean, again, these larger chains and franchises, it seems like everything's prepped anyway. You should be able to do whatever at any time.
And you get a breakfast menu, right? And there's like 10 different options. Like, let's say that's 10 options. And they're all variations on baked beans, which I'm sorry, but they're gross, toast that's burnt, eggs that are just look like they've been shat out by a seagull, and sometimes some like really streaky bacon that looks covered in grease and has no actual physical substance to it.
Yeah.
And it's just variations on that in a bunch of like size, the way it's presented. Oh, this one has half an avocado. It's like, I don't want a fucking avocado. I want steak. Anyway,
Give me meat.
this has come up too many times, and I feel like I'm on Room 101 and I'm just pitching it to Frank Skinner right now. And I want that to go into Room 101 so I never have to deal with that shit again. Oh, rant over.
Okay. I really like breakfast. I'll eat breakfast any time of the day, but I do understand the frustration. This is a frustration that happens so often it became like a movie trope in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a scene where this guy, like in the movie Falling Down, quite a good movie by the way, that I'll have to do on movie night sometime. There's a scene where the guy he's basically just snapped and gone crazy, and so he's got like a bag of guns, and he goes into like a fast food place, and it's just in a duffel bag, so you can't actually see what he's carrying. And so
Yeah.
he goes up, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I just he it's the opposite. He wants breakfast." And they're like, "Oh, we just ticked over. We're it's like 10:01, so we're serving lunch now." And he takes out like a submachine gun and just fires it into the ceiling, and he's like, and he goes on this rant about how he can't get basically a very
Yeah.
similar rant to the one you just had. Um,
I'm fine with people eating breakfast at any time. Just don't restrict it to just that. Sorry.
well, but it's the same problem in reverse. It's just it's the same thing. They should have breakfast anytime. They should be able to do lunch anytime, especially at a fast food restaurant where it's all pretty much pre-made anyway. Anyway.
You know what I'd love is to go into a pub at 8 p.m., order a tall glass of cider and a bowl of Rice Krispies. That would be fucking great.
That's a very interesting combination.
Because cereal is so much better in the evening than it is in the morning.
I
In the
agree with
morning,
that.
you wake up, it's fucking cold typically, and now you're shoveling cold, wet flakes into your mouth. In the evening, it gives you that little bit of energy, has the nice refreshing milk because it's been a hot day and you've been working hard. It just gets you back on your feet, and it's like, ah. Pubs need to start doing that.
I agree with you for different reasons, because I quite like, cold things regardless of the time. But I do, yeah, I like a hot breakfast normally, like bacon, eggs, sometimes like almonds.
Yeah. I can't afford that shit.
Oh god, breakfast is, I splurge on breakfast. It's my favorite meal. All right, this is gonna be the end unless you have something else to say.
No, it's just a wording.
All right. Yeah, this is going to be the end of episode 92 of the TMCJ podcast. Thank you all for listening, and you will hear us again in 2 weeks for episode 93.
Bring me steak!